Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer. Hope you guys enjoyed that cliffhanger from last time. Anyways, it's time to, I don't know what you do with cliffhangers, resolve them? That doesn't sound right, but we're gonna go ahead and figure out what's going on. So last time, what did she say last time? Okay, so what are we doing now? She smiled. Yeah, we're the only ones staying here. The canteen's closed, and I seriously doubt that there's any food left there anyway. Of course, Olga Dmitrovna should return in the foreseeable future, but what does it matter? Okay, it doesn't matter. Any suggestions? What do you want? Oh man, she asked with a sly smile. I would have grabbed something to eat. And then, I don't know. Well, let's go and have something. Where to? There should be some food left in my cabin. Okay, I really hope we're not gonna, walk into her cabin and it's like we're eating the remains of Miku. Oh man, cannibalism, that's super fun. Okay, deal. We went in and Lena rummaged around in the desk drawer. Well, there are cookies. Want some? Oh, wait, there's random sausage in our drawer, right? In the camp leaders thing? Or did we already eat that? I think we ate that when we, ran off with our sleeping bags and stuff. Yeah. She handed me a half-open pack of biscuits. Aw, how cute. I sneered. Why? Biscuits. Like in my childhood. I guess. She smiled and sat next to me. She's getting closer. Well? I asked with my mouth full. Hold on. Well? I don't know if that sounded any different, but I basically just covered my mouth. What? So what are we gonna do? Okay. New story. New theory, rather. She's a succubus, and she's gonna, drain my life essence, right? Because that's what they do. Is that what the succubi do? I don't know. She wistfully gazed out the window. But, what do you want? But really, what do I want? A mere half an hour ago, my only thought was to get away from this damn camp. But now, right here, next to her, something seemed to change. Well, I don't know either. Think harder. She drew herself closer and gazed into my eyes. Well, my face was blushing and my mind was racing. Yep, I kind of think I know what you're thinking about, Semyon. Not just because I was in such extreme proximity to a girl that quite clearly wants something from me, but mainly because that girl was Lena, and she's crazy. Well, she studied me closely. Lena, what? To say that she didn't look like herself was nothing. I was not afraid of this metamorphosis at all. Rather, I was afraid of myself. What I could do in such a situation. Didn't you want to be with me? She whispered into my ears seductively. Oh, hold on, let me try that again. Didn't you want to be with me? See, the emphasis is what really, that's what the seductiveness comes from. Yeah. I did. I do. Then what's the problem? It's also, besides, I have some other circumstances. What circumstances? She pulled away from me. Well, various circumstances. You don't prefer, do you? She's talking about butt stuff? Hope she's not talking about butt stuff. Lena laughed. Oh, butt stuff is pretty funny. Hell no! How could you think that? I think butt stuff is actually pretty appropriate for that response. Looks like I blushed even harder. Then what's the problem? Are you sure you want that? I don't know why I'm cracking up like this. I tried hard to change the subject. After all, just a week ago, I had my own normal life, a life where everything was strictly tied up. Oh, so he's into bondage. And well organized, and where there was no place for girls. Alright, Semyon, it's just you and your hand tonight. And now, I'm in some kind of mysterious camp with Lena sitting next to me and hinting towards something. How should I behave in such a situation? Why does every, I'm pretty sure I got the bad ending. I'm pretty sure. And even with Slavia's route, like, why does it always feel like I'm gonna go, like, sleep with them and then something bad's gonna happen? Like, it always feels like it's gonna be good, and then it's disappointing, right? Because that's what sex is. Yes. She frowned. Of course I do. What's the problem? Well, it's my... you know... I was behaving like I wasn't even 17, which was how I looked, as if I was much younger. It's my fireman, right, Cartman? Mine too. What? Oh, is that why it's bad? Because Lena's actually a guy. She smiled. Wait, Lena, we were talking about the same thing, right? I had to decide what to do next. Now, after the session was closed and all the pioneers were gone, I had to seek the answers. Above all, I just had to beware this girl that could change her behavior and even her character so easily at will. But at that exact moment, I was possessed by only one thought. Oh, what the hell? I feel like that's a question, isn't it? Eh. Well, if you don't mind, I close my eyes. Okay. So I'm guessing Lena's gonna do butt stuff to me with her fireman. Yeah. Oops, I think I clicked twice. I closed my eyes, she said nothing, just smiled and moved even closer. Alright, so far, you're not disproving my, oh, okay, never mind. Alright. Crisis averted. Our lips locked in a long kiss, and obviously that's to, NC-17 for, you know, us in the internet. I forgot everything at that moment. I forgot about this weird camp. I forgot about the local pioneers that were in fact gone. I forgot about our wacky camp leader again. Oh boy, wouldn't it be awkward if she just came into the cabins like, Semyon, what are you doing? Yeah. I forgot about my past life and about my future, if it would ever come. Right now, the only one who mattered was Lena, her soft lips, her warmth that poured deep into my soul, burning me from the inside. Man, sounds like he's describing much more than kissing. I gently moved her aside. Hold on. Don't you think this is way too fast? Why? She smiled and looked at me in such a way that I immediately felt ready to drown in her eyes. You're sure, aren't you? I am. I whispered, I am. I whispered quietly. At that exact moment, I truly loved Lena. I wanted to hold her tighter and never let go. And she felt the same, of course. Time flashed by way too fast, and we became as one. Yep, that can only mean one thing. ... Oh, dang, son. Doing it. Wait, it was 5, right? And it's the summer, so I'm gonna guess at least 4 hours until 3.5, 4 hours until sunset. I'm not sure how that works in Russia, but that's a long time to be doing it. When I woke up, it was already dark outside. Oh, we just like 15 seconds of glory, and then we just passed out. I kind of feel like that's how Semyon would be. Already dark outside. I got out of the bed, put on my trousers, and had a stroll around the room. What was that? Just an animal instinct, or maybe it was something more? Nope, it's all wrong, completely wrong. I'm stuck in this camp, I've lost my chance to get out of here, and most of all, I'm with a girl who probably has a split personality and manic depressive disorder. So, I think we already... I did suspect that she was bipolar. Split personality, I've actually read I read something, I don't remember if it was a study, or if it was just an article about a study, but I don't think there are cases of multiple personality disorder outside outside of North America, which is really strange. But I mean, because mental disorders are actually pretty tough. Like, there's a lot of overlap. There's like a lot of spectrum stuff. But yeah, the claim in that paper, or that article of that paper, was that multiple personality disorder did not exist outside of North America, which is really, really strange because there's no reason why a mental disorder would be confined geographically, right? Like, I can understand, like, infectious disease, right? Like, it's based on where the vector is geographically, but mental disorders don't seem to have, that kind of restriction. So, something to think about. I should go dig up that article again. Now that I think about it, because that did not make sense, that claim. Anyways, like historically too, it claimed that historically all cases of mental split personality disorder have been inside North America. Anyways, that aside, Lena, yeah, sure, probably crazy. I looked at the sleeping Lena. Oh, I was gonna say, like, why is he not saying anything about Lena? Like, did she run away all of a sudden? Like, yeah. Anyhow, she's marvelous. Everything that happened between us literally only a couple hours ago flashed before my eyes, and I felt shivers up my spine. Yep, you were that great, man. You were that great. Nah, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but if I could have returned back in time, I would have done exactly the same thing. Okay, good to know. I smiled widely and sat down next to her on the bed. It was close to 10 p.m. Wow. Okay. So it's like, exert for 15 seconds, sleep for 4 hours. Or 5 hours? I don't know. Well, it's, more or less. 4 to 5 hours. 4.5, we'll say. Well, it's probably time to get up. Alright, well, there goes your sleep schedule. I gave Lena a gentle nudge on the shoulder. She opened her eyes, and somehow she's still dressed. Good morning. Well, evening, in fact. Hi. She smiled tenderly. Time to get up, sleepyhead. Are you in a hurry? Well, no. But we're completely alone together in this camp. So what? She took a good look at me. Well, nothing. When will Olga Dmitrievna return? Is that important to you? She got a heavy look on her face. Well, without food, we're going to die here. Oh, maybe that was her plan. Double suicide pact. Pact. I laughed. You're free to leave then. Ooh. That's not. Sleep with a girl and then piss her off. That's our Semyon. She looked away towards the wall. But how can I leave? On the bus, of course. There are no buses here. Then why do you think there's a bus stop for bus route 410 here? Frankly, I don't know. I told Olga Dmitrievna that I had some matters to urgently resolve here and with you, and we'd come later. What? I felt like I'd been struck by a lightning. A lightning. Okay? Just one lightning. Not lightning in general, just a lightning. I didn't know what I should be more surprised about. The fact that there are buses passing here, or by the fact that the camp leader agreed to leave 2 pioneers behind in an empty camp just like that. What I said. You mean that we can leave? Go on, no one's holding you. She said that all while sitting utterly still, in fact so still that her words gave me grave cold chills. Okay, I'm sorry that I reacted that way. It's just, everything that's happened today has been a total surprise for me. You didn't look too surprised a few hours ago. I don't know, I kind of feel like for Semyon that would have been a surprise. Like, boobies. Right? I kind of feel like Semyon is the kind of guy who's never been with a girl, never seen any girls naked, let alone done that. But hey, I guess he's seen enough of that on the internet. Oh! I don't know, slammed, I guess. I've probably said something wrong. Completely wrong. Well, don't get offended. We won't be staying here till the end of times, right? If there's a way to leave. Lena didn't say anything. I looked at her back and tried to understand what she was thinking. Or I looked at her back. Like, I looked not at her back. Her, dorsal? Her dorsal side? Right? I guess, because it's weird because humans have upright posture. Anyways. Fine. Why did she smile when she said that? She exclaimed cheerfully after a pause, then jumped out the bed and started to dress quickly. Oh, well, it looked like she was actually dressed already. How fortunate for us. Come on, pack your stuff. Meet me at the square in 10 minutes. Lena leaned over and gave me a passionate kiss. Alright. I stepped out of her cabin, and ran to the camp leader's cabin. Frankly speaking, I had almost nothing to pack. I tossed my winter clothing in a bag, shoved my... Yep, I've read this before, I'm pretty sure. Shoved my phone into my pocket and headed to the square. Comrade. 15 minutes had passed already, but Lena still wasn't there. Or here. I justified it with the fact that she has lots of stuff to pack, and accordingly, she needs much more time to get ready. However, she didn't come even in half an hour, and I started to suspect something. My legs ushered me to her camp, or to her cabin, before I realized it. She gone. I flung the door. Oh no! I flung the door open and saw Lena lying on the bed. Whoa, that art style change. Everything around her was soaked with blood. Okay. Okay. The bed sheets, the blanket, the floor was wet with blood, and I could see a huge slit on Lena's forearm. Oh god. Wow. I ran to her and started shaking her by her shoulders. Lena! Lena! Why? She was still conscious. Oh, wow. Hi, Semyon. A weak smile froze on her lips. Hang on. Hey, don't you pass out. I'll think of something right now. Listen, everything's gonna be fine. You're not gonna die. Of course, I didn't believe it myself. Lena had slit her veins from her elbow all the way down to her wrist. Holy jeez. Wow, that is... Oh. I see it. God. Wow. That is something intense. It was a deep cut, and given all the time I've spent waiting for her at the square, she bled a lot. You said half an hour, right? Jeez, a deep cut from your elbow to your wrist. That's... Man. Probably even an ambulance wouldn't do anything by now. And here, in the empty camp, away from the world, Lena had zero chance of survival. I mean, if you give her a tourniquet, like, on her upper arm, like, you probably wouldn't be able to save her arm, but... Actually, I don't know. Half an hour? How stupid can you be? I embraced her and held her tightly. Tears were running down my cheeks, disappearing in her hair. I've never cried so hard in my entire life. Fool! Why did you have to go... Or why did you have to cut down the road? Everyone else does it across the street and you cut down the road. That's kind of weird. I mean, I understand. I've heard that before, but it's still kind of weird to see it in a game. Sorry. It happened as it did. She muttered faintly. But why? Why? I'm tired. So tired. Lena went silent. I looked straight into her eyes. She was still conscious, but the last flicker of her life was quickly dying in her. I'm so tired of all of it. Wearing a mask. Suffering. I just wanted to be with you. But you left me too. I never went anywhere. Here I am. Why? What have you done? I'm sorry. I was choked with tears, unable to say anything. I'm sorry. I'll be seeing you. I hope you can hear me while I whisper, actually. I actually didn't think about that. I think you can. Later. I embraced her even tighter. Lena's breath was getting weaker, and soon enough, it stopped forever. Horror-struck, I jumped away from the bed. My eyes went dark, my heart was beating wildly, and I spotted the blood-stained knife lying on the floor. A moment later, I was holding it in my hands. Oh my god, double suicide pact? Oh. Is this like, it's supposed to be like Romeo and Juliet, except much more violent and a little bit of mutilation? Not really mutilation, but yeah. The blade halted a hair's breadth away from my wrist. Are you going across the street? Or are you going down the road, Semyon? But why? How would that help? I sat there completely freaked out. and just stared at Lena. No, you aren't dead. I exploded with hysterical laughter. Come on, sleepyhead, it's time to wake up! I said softly and shook her by the shoulders. I am like totally missing out on what is supposed to be shouted and what's supposed to be softer, I guess, spoken. But Lena didn't wake up. What have I done? And Olga. Why is it black? I jumped out of the cabin in horror and ran like mad. I don't know how much time passed, but finally I wore myself out and collapsed on the ground. And we were looking up at the stars, just like we used, or how we did the night before. Hostile silence was all around me, and only the stars looked down on me in quiet rebuke. Yep, these were the same stars that Lena admired yesterday. Yet another crying spell tore me apart. Why? Why did she do it? Because I left her? Where had it gone? I never left her and I wasn't going to. Only at this moment did I realize that she was truly important to me. I realized that despite all her quirks, everything that happened today, everything that happened during the short period of our acquaintance, she'd suddenly become the most precious thing in my life. And I instantly forgot about her feelings, as soon as I heard about that damned bus. Yeah, that's very true. Indeed, it can't justify her act, but how could I have stopped thinking of her at all? I lay there for a long time, watching the stars. The trees were peacefully swaying in the gentle night breeze above my head. The trees didn't give a damn about what was happening to me. The landscape seemed familiar. Suppressing my tears, I headed back towards the camp. Comrade. Everything here seemed to be the same as yesterday, as a few days ago. The square, Gannet's memorial, the cabins of the pioneers, Lena's cabin. I was all torn up inside. It felt like the pain would tear my body into millions of little pieces any moment now. I fell to my knees and began punching the ground until my fists were completely stained with blood. If only I'd realized just a bit earlier. Just a moment earlier. I'm not asking for more. She was so... Even the slightest of hints was enough for her. Only at this moment did I realize that Lena had died. And a part of me had died with her. Probably the part of me that I would call the best. I came to my senses after a while, standing in her cabin. God. The blood had dried up already. The moonlight was no longer reflected in it. I went to her bed and sat down next to Lena's body. I was terribly afraid to be here, but I felt that I had something to tell her, or I had to tell her something. I'm sorry, I started. It's far too late, of course, but if you can hear me out there somewhere, just remember, please, I will love you forever, for the rest of my life. And that was the plain truth. I'm sorry that I ignored your feelings. I'm sorry that I always thought only about myself. I'm sorry for everything. It was me who should have died, not you. I covered her body with a blanket and slowly left the cabin. I regained consciousness at the bus stop. So, running away, scumbag? I muttered darkly to myself. I couldn't stand to stay a single minute longer in this camp. Lena will never come back. I can't justify what I've done. I'll just wait for the bus that will take me away from here. I didn't give the slightest damn about what's going to happen to me tomorrow or in an hour. I don't care about answers. I don't care about how I got here. Soon enough, I saw a glimmer of dim light in the distance. Somehow, I wasn't surprised at all. So that bus looks a lot different from the other one. In a minute, I was sitting in an empty number 410 bus and was looking into the dark of the night through a weather-beaten window. Where's the driver? Is that supposed to be where the driver is? My mind was blank. Everything that makes us human, feelings, emotions, aspirations, suffering, I left it all back there in that pioneer camp. Now all I have is this night and the empty bus. There's no more future, no more present. If I died tomorrow, that would only mean that yet another human body has ceased to exist. The real me died there a few hours ago. I don't know how much time passed, but the fatigue overtook me. I wasn't going to fight it, as it made absolutely no difference whether I'm sleeping or awake. I could barely hold my eyes open, and soon enough I passed out. Day ... Yep. Alright, well, Semyon, let's see if you can, I don't know. That is going to be difficult to get over. I mean, well, to see someone that you care about commit suicide, like, that's gonna be hard to get over. Like, it's probably gonna like launch at him going back into his old ways, but I don't know. Let's see if Semyon can overcome this. I believe in you, Semyon. There are moments when reality becomes unimportant, insignificant, unworthy of attention. There are moments when your spiritual torment overshadows everything else, and even if the world ended, you would not notice. If a knife were to pierce you, you would not notice. Even boiling for eternity in the cauldrons of hell would seem like just a minor inconvenience. After all, there are problems more important than that. When I opened my eyes, I realized that something's wrong. It took a while for clarity of thought to return. Finally, I realized that I'm not in a bus, but in my old apartment. Well, that was to be expected. As if I spent a whole week preparing for an exam and, at the last moment, had spectacularly failed. The result of this failure was my return to the real world. However, now it didn't seem any more real to me than the Sovionok pioneer camp. No wonder, reality is what you can hear, feel, touch, and taste. And all that was really there. That world was real to the smallest detail. Sometimes it seemed more like it was my past life that was a fiction. And now I have to remember how to exist here. Though, why? I felt like a man who'd been thrown out of the car at full speed without even noticing it, and was left lying on the roadside with broken arms and legs while the car disappeared into the night, taking with it the last traces of hope. Lena. Her image surfaced in my fevered brain so clearly that I wanted to cry unbearably. No, I wanted to shout, tearing out clumps of hair, smashing my fists on the wall while making inhumane screams. However, my soul was empty. I tried in vain to find at least the echoes of pain, guilt, or pity for her, but nothing came. I was just lying here and staring at the ceiling. I was not at all interested in how and why I came back. After all, who cares about the process of selling your soul to the devil, all the legal formalities of the contract, signatures, stamps, and seals? What is more important is the result. And this is the result I got. No, it's not that I was sent back to reality. If I had gotten to the destination on the bus, I would hardly have changed anything for me, or it would have hardly changed anything for me. In this case, the result is what happened to Lena. And the reason is my actions. I was absolutely sure about that. After all, she could just do that, or she could not just do that for no reason. No, Lena is not like that. So it's all my fault. It is hard to live knowing that you were the reason for someone else's death. As if I personally held the knife calmly and carefully slit open her wrists and watched her die. God, that's a painful image to conjure up. And then just ran away. Of course, I didn't do anything in that situation, but I still felt that I'd behaved like a coward. No, even worse. Although, does it really matter what the best definition of my actions is? I cursed myself for remaining so calm while thinking about the situation. After all, I should be mourning Lena and blaming myself. But now, nothing is up to me. If I was not able to back then, I started shivering, my body was trembling, and it was getting hard to breathe. Self-preservation instincts overtook guilt for a while, and I staggered to the kitchen to drink a sedative. They can always be found in the cupboard of every antisocial person like me. Once I'd taken half of the tablets that were in the packet, I returned to the room and turned on the computer. I were trying to commit suicide too. Remaining in silence was unbearable. I played the first random song and soon realized that it was probably the most depressing piece of music I had on my hard drive. However, I didn't want to turn it off. The background noise helped dampen my thoughts. I had to decide what to do with my life next. I was sure about one thing. Everything that happened in the camp, my appearance in it, my unexpected return, I didn't care about any of it. And not just that, I didn't care about the context or the reasons for those events either. The only thing that mattered was Lena. I horribly stumbled over the word was. Indeed, she's gone. Of course, it's possible that it was just a dream and she never existed in the first place. But then again, our real world would just be someone's raving delusion as well. Why not? If people suffer from losing their loved ones here, why should I think Lena's death there as just the result of my sick imagination? I saw it all with my own eyes. I felt the shock, fear, and fright. Damn it. For me, it's not that it was reality, it still is reality. Is and will be. And I'm sure I'm not daydreaming, though it would be better if I dreamt that. The dreadful howl of guitars boomed from the speakers. It sounded like a requiem for me. And now I have to live with this sense of guilt? No, I won't take it. My mind wasn't exactly a paragon of stability, but not even a man with a stable mind could withstand shocks like this. And I already feel that I'm going mad. I try to suppress all these thoughts. No, not to forget, just to give myself some rest. Just for a minute. But it didn't work. Pain racked my body again and again. I was already starting to feel it physically. However, physical pain is always weaker than mental. I fell to the floor, clasping my knees and began rocking back and forth in a fetal position. Blood pounded my head so heavily that I felt like my skull could shatter any moment now. I hit a table leg, and a little candle rolled out from under a pile of papers. A little one, 20 centimeters long. It was bent at almost a 90-degree angle, but it still retained its shape. The wick protruded from one end. Are we gonna have a vigil for Lena? I searched for a lighter and lit up the candle. Let it be in the memory of Lena. Maybe in another world she is feeling better than... I sat on the floor and watched, as the wax slowly dripped onto my fingers. Oh. I felt no pain at all. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. Probably my nervous system was so exhausted that it was unable to transmit the pain impulses to my brain. The fire calmed me a little. I just watched the flame and did not think about anything. Finally, at least some peace of mind. The candle was halfway done. Suddenly, I imagined that my life is this very candle. Not just mine, any person's life. All that we have been given from above is its full length. But anything can happen. The wind may blow, the holding hand may tremble, or the wick may burn out. And a life will end before it should have. But after all, each candle can be different. Such as this one, 9 cents, one twice as thick, 20 and huge ones as thick as the handle of a shovel, 185. I wonder, did Lena's candle burn out ahead of its time, or was it just smaller than the other ones? Though I doubt there can be one smaller than mine. I rotated the candle in my hands. How interesting is that? I can blow out the flame at any moment, and that's it. But, in the meantime, life is not wax. You can't combine 2 small candles to make one of medium size. I would love to give the remains of mine to Lena. To anyone who needs it more than I do. Why would I need it? I do not feel pain from the heated wax. Its flame does not give me any warmth. It hardly illuminates the room. To put it bluntly, a waste of ropes, wax, and oxygen. I blew out the candle. The action evoked absolutely no emotion in me. I slowly stood up and headed to the bathroom. Oh, come on. Cut down the road, not across the street. Everyone cuts across, but you're going right down the image of Lena appeared before my eyes. She was smiling. We'll definitely meet again. I'm so sorry. Warm water, shadows, and dying dreams have finally brought me some peace. It really might be that I never actually went to that camp, or that I never actually came back. But, does it really matter now? I almost physically felt Lena's embrace. Everything will be alright. We'll catch the bus together and ride it to the place, where nobody will find us. Where we'll be happy together. My strength left me, and I started to sink into the water that was already spilling over the edge of the tub. We will surely meet again. Forgive me. It's down the road, not across the street. And there's Lena's bad ending. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story, its own outline, synopsis, content, keys, prologue. Yeah. Wow. That was depressing. Uh-oh. This music does not bode well. Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, that's a very real, oh, we're gonna get some Russian death metal, I guess. But yeah, that's a very real, situation, I guess. You know, yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't know anyone who has committed suicide, but I do know a few people who have tried to commit suicide. So yeah, it's tough, and I know, you know, like it's always tough to lose someone, but then when you lose someone, like it's I mean, a lot of people go into depression and all that stuff, and you really hate just to see like someone take their life, and then just you really hate to see anyone take their life because they lost someone in their life. So I don't know. That's pretty big downer. Yeah, I don't know. Not really much to say. It's a pretty serious thing, so I'm not gonna poke fun at it or anything. I guess I'll say that. But let's talk about the story. Up until this point. So, what did we learn about Lena? I guess that, so she said when she was, you know, slowly drifting away that it was finally over, that she didn't have to wear that mask of, like, innocence and all that stuff. So, I'm guessing we didn't really learn much about her, like, past, although I guess we didn't really learn too much about Slavia's either, other than, you know, her parents on a farm or whatever. But I'm wondering if Lena has some sort of like repressed childhood memory, or like maybe some like trouble at home or something like that, where, you know, that's why she has to put on that mask to like be that quiet, kind of innocent girl that she, like, you know, stay quiet and just be good, whereas inside she's like, you know, tearing, like she's like being torn apart inside because like she has all this like conflict or whatever that she's like bottling up inside and they just can't talk to anyone about. And then her choice to commit suicide when she thought she was losing Semyon. I mean, she said she mentioned a lot about how she was like she was afraid of losing people. So I guess maybe she lost someone in her life, and then, you know, that's the stuff she's dealing with. But then, you know, when she thought she finally had someone in Semyon, and then to like, so I guess now we kind of understand why she was so upset when she thought Semyon was like having a thing with Alyssa, because she didn't want to lose him. And then I guess somehow she was able to come around, I suppose, and be fine with what happened. And then, you know, obviously she and Semyon had a good time. And then, yeah, like Semyon, what he was talking about, how he was like all freaking out. It's like, hey, okay, how are we gonna get out of here and all that stuff, and you know, not paying attention to her when he should have been, I guess. And then, you know, dealing with those issues, and then Lena dealing with those issues of like loss and like feeling like she's gonna lose Semyon. Yeah, that was, I don't know. Still thinking about that, still mulling over it. I feel like we got a little bit of story about Lena there. Maybe we'll find out more about her in the good ending, but I feel like that ending had more, is more about the emotion, the shock of the suicide, and then the double suicide, right? Than about revealing. Because I feel like we could have gotten a little bit more background, a little bit more story out of this, but it was really going for that kind of more emotional ending. So yeah, next time, well, sorry to leave you on such a sad note, but next time, hopefully things will be much more happy when we go after Lena's good ending. So until then, thank you for watching. Bye.